Previously, I lowered my Nissan 300ZX twin turbo. This back wheel here is quite an aggressive offset. Yes, when you lower it, it does camber in a bit, and I have basically got a stretched tyre on, so it's sort of hopefully fade in. However, it does catch on the lip here, so I'm going to have to deal with that by rolling the arches. But first, let's head to the front of the car to fix something else. The new air filter system has arrived from China. Get this bit here, which basically go in here like so, which will allow the filters to curl back because there's no room at the front for them to go forward. So that will sit like that, and this filter system comes with a pair of these which will go in here and interfere nicely with my bracket. However, I don't want to fit those. I want to see if I can get this to fit in here. If so, I'm going to get another one for this side. So first things first. First things first, this comes out. So yeah, we'll just bolt this onto here with the standard Allen key bolts. So theory, that should fit around that. Whether it's going to fit in there or not's a different question. And the answer is not like that, but I think the answer is yes, if this was in before this was in, because it's got to get past there to get on there. And the way that could happen, I think if I attach this to the metal part but not the metal part to that part, put the metal part in here with the two filters on, then put that in, and then bolt the contraption together, I think it should work. So there's always going to be method in the madness, and there's always going to be madness. Good band now. Well, it fits, and that fits if I put it on the right way round. Problem I've got is this O-ring needs to go on there, and that needs to be held in by this, and this goes between those two, and the way this holds that in is being bolted up, because without this being bolted up, because of gravity, that falls out, and that's a very tight gap and very awkward to get it in. But it does separate here, so basically back out, that bolted to that but not fixed to that in, then that on afterwards. Right, time to go and get another one of those. So went out, got myself another one, and inevitably some rain happened, and then we're going to fit this in here. Wow, it's tighter than a virgin, but it's in there. So next plan to make my car more drivable. This car's obviously up on jack stands, but when this sits on the floor, there is about 10 or 15mm gap there before the wheel's going to hit the arch. And looking from above, this does camber in when it comes up, and you get about this much, which will obviously have that angle on it, which should tuck in there, but it doesn't tuck in there because the lip at the moment kind of runs like that. So basically, if I go over a big bump, I'm going to come up and hit the lip. So what I need to do is roll the arch, and what that means, it means this lip here, instead of being like that, wants to come up like that. So first thing I want to do before I roll this over, because there's going to be a load of crap up here and I really don't want that living up there because that's going to cause rust and shit. So yeah, you get rid of all the crap. Yeah. This might take a while. So what we've got here is a arch roller. Yep, that does that. So this attaches to the wheel hub here. At the moment it does not move because my handbrake is on. What you get here is you get these little geezers here, and that is because you've got a chamfer on your lug nuts. So that will go in there. So what you got on this roller here, you've got this here will extend this to just the distance up from the hub to the arch. As you'll see, we've already got a problem, it's too far up. We'll get to that in a minute. This one here, if you loosen that, which it's tight, that adjusts the angle of the wheel. So basically what you do is you start off with the wheel with pretty much almost the angle of the arch just slightly in, and you go round a few times until you've bent it that much, and then you increase the angle and you go round again. But obviously it's just going to roll along the side of it unless you put some pressure on. So this here, when you wind this will pull it in or out to increase the pressure as you roll it. So basically you increase the pressure and you roll until there's no pressure anymore, and then you increase the pressure a bit more. And as you're doing that, you also change the angle, so you'll start off like that, then a bit like that, then like that, and then eventually you'll get round to where you want to go. With this car, I could get right up to almost this corner here. I'm gonna have to leave it there because obviously there's a little bolt in there that holds the bumper on, but you can get round to about here, and then what it's gonna have to do is kind of stay as it is here and then sort of fade into the curve there. Obviously when we're pressing on here and bending the metal, we're also bending the paint, and the paint doesn't really like to be bent. So what we need to do is heat up the paint. So as I already mentioned, the distance between here and the arch is shorter than the length of the machine, which is a problem. And what we need to do is increase the length between the hub and the arch, and the only way we could do that is to adjust the coilover. So before we adjust the coilover, we are going to take note that the distance from bottom of that ring there to top of that ring there is 90 mil. So that's where it was to be when I put it back. So first of all, to adjust it, we need to loosen off the lock collar at the bottom here. So the easiest way to do that is to put that on. Wind that up a little bit. What I need to do is obviously lower the suspension, which is increase this gap here, which bring the hub down with the coilover. If you want to do that, you get the bottom ring here and you turn it that way, which will basically increase the height of the car. If you want to lower the car, you go on that ring and you go that way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on here and I'm going to do this for about half an hour until I've almost maxed out the coilover, which will allow me to fit the roller in. Coilover's nearly maxed out. Trouble is you don't really know how much you've got. I've measured that, that's 140 on just over 100, but don't really want to risk it. Got that, so that's basically slightly under pressure now, and that just about gets there. But obviously as we bend it round, we can actually raise the coilover back up. First bit's going to be the hardest bit because you've got to put an angle on it to get it to bend, and you've got to come this way at it instead of from up there, because you just can't do that because this pulls it this way instead of pushes it up. So first of all, I'm just going to heat everything up and then I'm going to start rolling. So I mentioned about this bit here, there is going to be a point where it starts to sort of bend in and stays flat down here. I've already done the other side. Currently it's sitting here. I've put a piece of tape here because basically the other side, 6.5 inches from this point to this point is on the other side is where it starts to bend in. So basically that's where I'm aiming for here. So I'm going to keep going and move that down to like there. So that's kind of curving in as I want it there. It's started to take shape. It's slowly taking shape. What you have to do is you have to keep increasing and decreasing this to suit the position that this is at, because as you get to a different position you are a different distance away from the actual lip that you're trying to curve, and also you are slightly different distance up there as well. And as you go around, the angle is going to kind of be more acute here and less there, but that's fine because this is where the top of the wheel is, and that's where it's really going to rub if it does bounce up. So yeah, here I'm going to want to come more that way. So what I'm doing is I'm increasing it a bit there now. Yeah, put the heat back on. There you go, like that, to sort of get into that. So now it's just tucked round a little bit. What I've done is I've basically increased that angle that way on that, and it'll come up a bit because obviously when you do that, that bit comes down, so it needs to go up to sort of line up there. So what you need to do now is heat that up, go over it again a few times so that it bends it a little bit more, and then adjust the angle again. Do the same, rinse and repeat. So firstly, you'll notice I'm using a different heat gun. That's because I've just blown up the air dryer. Secondly, what you need to do is basically heat a little bit at a time and just work that little bit at a time, because the heat's just going to drop off quite quickly. So just do that little area at a time. So this little fading bit here, obviously it's got a bend there, not so much there. You're not going to get that with the roller, because you're just not. So what I'm going to do is heat that up, and I'm going to get a little tap with a rubber mallet just to sort of try and tidy it up a little bit. It just takes that little high spot out of there. It's probably because that's getting. So with all the heat and all the will in the world, it's still going to get some paint. Well, basically I'll show you on this bit, but obviously not here. On this lip, on the up there, obviously that there's nothing really attaching the paint there. So what'll happen is, obviously that is a weak point, so there will be a bit of paint flakes off some places up there on the inside. As long as it don't flake off on this bit, that's fine, because what you can do is you can mask, and you can kind of just tuck the masking tape in here, and then you can respray the inside of the lip, and nobody's going to see the join line because it's up there. So whether you can see that or not, I don't know, but yeah, that's tucked up there. It's not quite fully up, but you know, it's up more than 45 degrees anyway, and that is where I'm going to leave it for now, because obviously I could revisit this at another time if it does cause me any problems. Just for reference, this was 35 quid off eBay. You can get pretty much the same one from Machine Mart for like 100 and something quid, and it's pretty much the same. If you're in America, you could basically get one of these Eastwood ones, and it's the same design. All it is they probably use some slightly thicker steel here. This is probably what, like 3mm. They probably use like some 4mm or something on there, right? And it's big heavy duty American metal. But this here is 1.2mm steel. You don't need big heavy duty American metal to bend that. Simple as that. Before you put your wheel on, remember, put your coilover back. Quick tip, that distance between that collar was 90, so I've basically moved that collar to 90, so when I wind it down, that gap will just close up and I'll be roughly in the right place, and I can make some fine-tuning adjustments. Obviously when we raised it up, we turn that way, so to lower it, we're going to do that for about half an hour. Well, there she is, back down on the ground, nicely rolled up there. So if we come from above and we look down, we shall see that this curve here is hopefully same as that sort of curve, which will give me a little bit more room. Obviously get a bit of camber when it comes up as well. If it's still a problem, obviously I could roll it a bit more, but you can get upper camber arms, which means I could give the wheel some camber, which will help deal with it too. Anyway, please comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.